In this video, we will show you how to connect Poolside to n8n. We'll also demo how to set up Poolside with n8n for an automated Discord spam moderation bot. n8n is a workflow automation platform. It allows different systems, services, and tools to communicate with each other through AI in structured and visualized workflows. Let's check out what this looks like. Here we have multiple workflows. These workflows are powered by nodes and AI and are defined as code and visualized on this canvas. All three workflows are powered by a Poolside chat model. Let's check out how to set up Poolside in n8n. If we click the plus button in the top right corner of our canvas, we can search for Poolside. Poolside is a custom community node that can be installed on your self-hosted instance, or you can use it directly in n8n Cloud. You can find the package in npm as well as GitHub. If you want to install it in your local instance of n8n, then first navigate to your n8n folder. After that, you can call the npm package through the npm install command. After you install the Poolside package, make sure to restart n8n in your environment. After restarting the n8n server, the Poolside package should show up in the Nodes panel. Search for Poolside, click the node, and add it to your workflow to get started. When you add it to your workflow, it is required you first set up your Poolside credentials. You can do this by creating a new credential and copy pasting your API key to this credential. You can get your API key by navigating to platform.poolside.ai. Click API keys, then click New Key. After that, give it a name, and then copy and paste your API key to the field in n8n. If you're running your own instance of Poolside, make sure to update the base URL so it's connected to the right endpoints. After you've set up your Poolside account credential, the model dropdown will automatically populate with the available models to this endpoint. In our case, this is Laguna S and Laguna XS. Select the model you want to use for the workflow you have. XS is the smaller, more performant model, where S is still small, but shines in its capabilities. For more information about Poolside models, check out the Poolside website and documentation. Optionally, you can set up additional properties like sampling temperature, timeouts, and whether you want to enable thinking or not. In the three workflows we have for automated Discord spam moderation, we have connected our Poolside model to various nodes in the workflow in n8n. First, we use it for the actual spam detection. Secondly, we use it to draft a warning to a user that sends spam in our Discord channel. And lastly, we also use the Poolside model to generate a daily digest on the work it has done in our Discord. Let's walk through these three n8n workflows and see how it works. The first workflow is triggered once an hour through the schedule trigger node. Depending on the amount of spam I expect and the type of channels I have within my Discord, I can change the interval to minutes or seconds in any way I like. Then our Discord bot, which is connected to our own Discord, fetches the latest messages in a given channel. We give it our server ID and a channel ID, so it only fetches the messages we think it should care about. Next, it ensures it only checks the latest messages. So if we run this once an hour, it will only check the messages that have been posted in this channel in the last hour. Then we group these messages by user, so we can more efficiently loop over the messages, and so we don't need to notify the same user multiple times if they have multiple messages that could be spam in the same channel. For each user, we create a list of the messages they've sent, and then we do the actual spam detection. Our spam detection is powered by Poolside's XS model and is based on the following description, whether it's a promotion, sales pitch, or anything else that's likely a spam message to get members to visit another site. This prompt can be tweaked depending on what we allow or don't allow. After we do this, we either mark the message as spam or we flag it as not spam. We create a list out of it. We filter whatever is a spam message, and if there are spam messages, we trigger the next workflow. If there are no spam messages in this list, it moves on to the next user and checks the messages that were posted by that user. If there is at least one spam message, we move on to the moderation sub workflow. We use a sub workflow to ensure the human in the loop moderation by a moderator isn't a blocking event to scan the remaining messages. So the moderation workflow is triggered by the workflow we just reviewed. It first drafts a message based on the content of the messages that were sent by the user. This is the prompt our Poolside model receives to draft the message. This allows us to tailor the warning to the user to make sure the message lands with them, that they shouldn't post spam in our Discord server. Then we notify the moderators in this channel, and we give them an option. We either delete the message and warn the user with the message we just generated, or we keep the message but do warn the user, or we do nothing at all. This is a callback. So after the moderator is notified about this, they need to make a decision on what to do with this. And this is why we call this AI with a human in the loop, because we want to verify. And we want to decide on what to do next given what the user has posted. If there's no action taken, then we do log the message for our daily digest. But if we do decide to delete the message and or warn the user, then we can move on to this fork in our workflow. If we do that, we get the message IDs we need to delete. We delete the messages and then we warn the user, or we don't delete and just warn the user. And again, this is then also captured in our log moderation table. What is good to know is that Discord in n8n is a standard node you can install, and you can trigger it through certain actions, which is also what we're using over here. If you look at this node, you see the different actions. Here we use get recent messages, which uses the get many messages action. Keep in mind that we're using Discord as an example in this workflow, but you could easily replace it with any other tool you want to scan for spam messages. Okay, let's test our workflow. First, let's move to our Discord and we'll open the test channel we created for this demo. We type hello, please visit, and let's add a spammy link. Clearly, this user is spamming this channel. For testing purposes, we'll manually trigger this workflow instead of using the scheduled trigger we configured earlier. It gets the recent messages, which we can also see over here. The workflow makes sure we only parse every message once. We then group it by user. In this case, there was only one user in this channel. And then for each user, we check the messages they posted, and we either mark them as spam or we don't mark them as spam. In this case, clearly there was one message that's marked as spam and the other two messages were marked as not spam, which is what we expected. We merge this into one list. We take the spam messages from the list, and in this case, we do have spam messages, so we move on to the moderation sub workflow. In n8n, we can easily check this out as well. For this, we navigate to the execution tab to see our executed sub workflow. It was executed by the previous workflow we looked at. It drafts a warning to our Poolside model. Here it is. Your recent messages with a suspicious link violates our spam and self-promotion rules. Please avoid sharing such content. Further violation can result in a ban. Let's keep our community safe and welcoming. And then it moved on to the notify moderators with a send and wait. So what we can see here is that in our test spam mods channel, a bot posted this message, and I, as a moderator, can open this URL and I can select an option. I can say what I want to do with this. Delete message and warn user, do nothing and warn user, and do not or do nothing. Let's select the do nothing but warn user option. We submit this. And when we submit this, we can see we're moving on to the next node in our workflow. The receive instructions node, the data includes the action by the moderator. In our case, do nothing and warn user. We now warn the user with the message that was generated. So here we can see I'm the user who is spamming. Hey, Sebastian, your recent message with a suspicious link violates our spam and self-promotion rules. Exactly as we expected. Didn't delete any messages, so it only warned the user, and it was captured in our log moderation table. If we go back to our editor, there's one more workflow we didn't really discuss. That is the daily digest schedule workflow. So once a day, 9 a.m., it reviews all spam and moderation actions that happened the last 24 hours that were marked as spam, as well as the actions taken on these messages. And it writes a daily digest using our Poolside Laguna XS model. This is the prompt we use for this. We instruct the model it is writing a daily moderation digest. We include all relevant data in the payload and ask it to summarize this for the moderators so they know what has happened in the last 24 hours. And then we post this message to the Discord moderation channel through the Discord n8n node. Let's manually trigger this workflow. We open our Discord moderation channel, and here we go. In our test spam moderation channel, we just received a full daily digest of July 21st. We only moderated one user, and we gave this user 2 warnings. For demo purposes, we ran this flow earlier today. So this is actually the second warning we gave to this user. The digest informs us we really need to keep an eye on Sebastian to make sure this doesn't happen again. And if it happens again, we can decide to ban this user from our server. We could either do this automatically, or again, like we did in this workflow, we do this with a human in the loop. So for all of these workflows, we used a Poolside chat model that we've installed in n8n with this npm package, n8n nodes Poolside. Once you install this package in n8n, Poolside shows up as a chat model that you can add to any workflow, ready to power your automations with efficient and capable AI. In this guide, we walked through installing it and using it to run a moderation bot in Discord, but nothing about it is Discord specific. The same Poolside models and the same setup work for any chat tool or automation you like.